I love Mike Hansen Archives.
Are you ready to run?
We're back.
We're back.
We have our audio, I hope. I hate this. Every now and then we get into a situation where we're sitting here talking and we don't have any audio. Just quickly mention, folks, you know Lyndon LaRouche is.
Yeah.
Not that I agree with everything he says. However, it doesn't make any difference. The fact is, there are no less than 5 of his associates now. Michael Billington, who's been in a political prisoner for 6 years and 234 days. Anita Gallagher has been a political prisoner for 3 years and 128 days. Paul Gallagher has been a political prisoner for 3 years and 128 days. Lawrence Hecht has been a political prisoner for 3 years and 128 days. And Donald Phau, F-P-H-A-U, has been a political prisoner for 3 years and 28 days. In prison for political convictions as of March 17th, 1997. And this also ties in with the 11 Waco survivors, or 11 Waco people, Paul Fata, in fact, who was sitting has a 40-year prison sentence for gun violations in Waco, and he wasn't even in Waco during the time he was down in Austin for a gun show, which is a legal business. You know, they were arms legal licensed dealers. Not to mention all the pot smokers and the gamblers and all the people, folks, that are political prisoners in today America, which is the largest prison system in the world today, and they're building more prisons. I think, Gaylon, all of this ties into this new world order where basically, if you watch the legislatures and all of this, they're passing more laws, which in fact...
Tightening up on gun control.
Right. They're
tightening up on freedom of all of our freedoms.
Yeah, it has nothing to do anymore with protection of Bill of Rights.
Search and seizures just being obliterated.
It's strictly just passing laws to make us all criminals of the state.
That's right.
And that's essentially where we're at right now. We're visiting with Gaylon Ross. He is the author of Who's Who of the Elite. And Gaylon, again, I appreciate you coming on the program tonight. Let me just mention that we're having we're scheduled for a special Wednesday edition, this coming Wednesday the 9th.
Okay.
From 4:30 to 6 p.m. And beyond that, we've also, if you could, Gaylon, if you could mention this book again, talk about the book here, and then we'll go into some things that you might want to talk about. I know you've got some updated information on some things, and you might even want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about, Preparedness Expo. I know you said you're going to be at that.
Yeah.
Just different things, whatever you want to.
Yeah, this weekend I'll be up at Preparedness Expo. Ted Gunderson and I are going to be there and have a table together. And
now that's in Dallas,
That's
right?
in Dallas, right.
Now when does that officially start?
I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. Now
I don't have the details yet.
Do you have the location?
No, I don't have any of the details yet.
I think it's something like the
but
Dallas.
I'll find out tomorrow. I'm going to be on Ted's show tomorrow, radio program, AM and shortwave. And so I'll find out at that time.
I didn't know Ted had his own shortwave radio show. He does.
Yeah, sure does.
Okay, and so you all are going to be in Dallas, as I'm going to be in Dallas up there visiting, or just as a sightseer. Why don't you go ahead now? Your organization offers several books, one of which you write, and I think it's gracious of you, Gaylon, and it's a sign of a true patriot that you are willing to promote other people.
Well, if I think they're telling the truth, and if I think it's related to the elite, I think it's one of my obligations to help expose it.
One of which is this book you mentioned
Yes,
at the beginning of the program.
Transformation America. It's an autobiography of Kathy O'Brien. Co-author is her husband, Mark Phillips, and it's a very sad story. Actually, Kathy was abused by her father from probably shortly after birth until about the age of 15, where he turned her over to the CIA to join their MK Ultra mind control program. and there's been congressional hearings on that. So it's not fiction, it's fact. And in this book, Kathy and Mark tell about our world leaders in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and including the King of Saudi Arabia, involved in some very evil things with both Kathy and her daughter. At that time, her daughter was 5, 6 years of age, and she was prostituted to these leaders. Every president since Gerald Ford, with the exception of Jimmy Carter, were involved in this, and she describes them. She talks about the layout of the furniture. I mean, if someone doubts what she's talking about, in fact, she has a photographic memory. She remembers everything in detail. And they thought with trauma-based torture and using hypnosis and mind control drugs, shock therapy, that they could wipe her mind out so that she would just be essentially a robot. But Mark Phillips was able, he has a strong background in the mind rejuvenation area, and at the age of about 30, he was able to take Kathy and her daughter, Kelly, up to Alaska and hide them from the CIA and everyone else, and deprogrammed her for 2 years. And I've talked to her personally, and she sounds like a normal person now. And we all have to be thankful that she's been able to recover to that point. But her daughter Kelly is still in a mental institution in Tennessee.
So basically, the book is premised on the fact that its premise, that the claims are is that the CIA, or like you mentioned earlier, somebody that they could pay, some thugs or something, were using hypnotic mind control methods.
No, they were actually did work on military bases. It's not done out in the woods somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's done, and she names the military bases where she was taken for these treatments. She names the people in the military that were associated with it.
And the claims are, of course, that the so-called leaders, which history also reveals, Gaylon, that many times in history, the people that are presented as leaders are not actually leaders, but are actually front men toward somebody, of some other money interest or something like that.
That's right.
And this is essentially. Let me just mention now, you've got your book here. Who's Who of the Lake, and while I've got you here, I appreciate when we were on the Fun Show, you donated several of them, and I appreciate that. Did you, when you were part of the National Security Agency, you worked there for what, a year or 2 years?
I was in NSA for 2 years, and this was right after the fighting in Korea. And I was stationed right on the DMZ. I had a communications reconnaissance unit, and we had bunkers that were dug into the mountaintops, and we used radio direction finders and radio intercept units, and I had 13 Chinese nationalists working for me that would actually listen to the Chinese communist conversations over the radio, and they record this, and we would send it back to NSA headquarters in Washington.
Where I want to get to, is that actually the overseer of the CIA?
That's the big brother to the CIA. They're in terms of dollars and the number of people involved in NSA dwarfs the CIA.
Okay, now the next question is something that that I've been on, a subject that I've been on for a while, is do you believe the allegations then that the CIA, of course through the international banking cartel, because they're in direct the heart of everything, are they the ones that are bringing in the drugs into the country?
No question about it.
Now the war on drugs is nothing more than a a war against their small-time competition. Plus, they use that as a disguise to smash our Bill of Rights.
Well, a very good friend of mine who had a long background in the FBI was talking to a couple of current insiders within the CIA, and they were talking about General McCaffrey being made drug czar, and he told me personally that these CIA operatives just died laughing. And they said, that's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house, because he was in charge of the Southern Command headquartered in Panama, right on the path of the drugs coming out of Colombia into Mexico and into the United States. And I find it very doubtful that he was not involved in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason Clinton selected him, because he had his ties with the.
If Clinton selected him.
Well,
Because a lot of these,
Clinton's just one of the tools.
yeah, right. We do have a call or two. Let me just mention quickly. We're scheduled. We just talked to Ray Muniz. Project UFO first week of May. Mike Stone. Let me just mention him. He's done some study on land patents. We could get that up. Okay, we got Brett Johnson. Okay, we're going to get some slates on all this, but we're running out of time to do that. Brent Johnson, who was on last week. Okay, there's the land patents with Mike Stone. I know there were some people that were interested in that last week. There's his address. If you're interested in land patents and his phone number, it's care of General Delivery, Mills, Wyoming. I can't even read it.
82644.
Okay, and the phone is 307-234-7608. Brett Johnson, who was on last week, took about he's at 2101 Main Street, Unit 181776, Baker City, Oregon 97814, and that number there is 1-888-385-3733, and he's kind of he calls himself he has an organization called Freedom Bound, and he knows he's on to the whole Roman Empire system that you and I rail against.
Right.
Then we got Ray Muniz scheduled. He's going to be on Unsolved Mysteries on April the 18th, 1997. I'm actually plugging NBC. 7 p.m. on NBC. He's scheduled for that. And we've got him scheduled for the first week of March for a Project UFO segment. We've got the Waco trip coming up April 19th, Saturday, which is just less than 2 weeks away now. If you're interested, give us a call there. We do have a full bus, but we'll definitely find a way. Anybody that's interested and wants to go up there, we'll find a way to make it happen. Call the comment line there. If you're interested in any of Gaylon's books, call the comment line. And here we're scheduled. Myself and Sheila Martin are scheduled to be on Joyce Isaac's show, KBET Radio 1300 a.m., 10 a.m. to 12 noon. That's the 15th, which is the official April Fool's Day.
Okay.
It's not April 1st, Gaylon. It's actually April 15th.
Is that, that's right.
That's the Jeff Davis designation of
Okay.
April Fool's Day. April
That's
15th.
when we're supposed to finally turn our money over to them.
Yeah, that's the official April
Right.
Fool's Day. And we'll be on a live program this Wednesday, the 9th, from 4:30 till 6, right down here in beautiful East Austin on ACTV. Special edition, folks, right there on Channel 10. Okay, you want to try a call real quick?
Yeah, let's take some calls.
Okay, but quickly, we'll get some calls. We've only got about 6 more minutes with Gaylon Ross. Caller, you're on the air. Whatever's on your mind today, caller.
Oh, Jeff, it's Tony.
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Oh, everything's great. How you doing?
Doing good, you?
Show's great like always.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask Gaylon if I have a friend sitting here who's having a hard time. I'm trying to explain to him how the elite controls the United States. If he could take just 2 minutes and just briefly tell him how the elite controls the United States government.
Thank you, Tony.
Could
Good
you do that?
question.
Yeah,
Good question.
sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate your call, Ben.
Well, the elite actually control Congress. They control the White House. They control the Pentagon. They control the CIA. Every director of the CIA has been a member of the elite. For example, they control all the news media. They control news magazines, newspapers, television. In my book, I give you the names of all the members in these organizations. So they, through the control of the media, they tell you exactly what they want you to hear, and they deny you the truth that you ought to hear.
Keep you focused on issues of no significance.
And like the O.J. Simpson trial, that
and,
they give you diversionary tactics to get you.
Spam.
That's right.
Spam meals. They had a spam meal or some spam thing here and all.
But they get your mind completely off of what you ought to be really thinking about, and that's them taking over political and economic control of the entire world.
Our liberties being flushed down the toilet.
Daily, they take more liberties.
Through laws and
more and more control.
And with that, Gaylon, I want to go ahead and
okay.
We've got about 3 minutes. Go ahead, and of course you'll be back.
Sure.
But I want to just mention, if you would, just go ahead and give kind of a closing statement, whatever you want to like to say here to the viewers.
Well, because we know that the elite control the media, it's going to take word of mouth from friend to friend and acquaintance to acquaintance to get the word out. You'll never read what I talk about in the local paper.
But you might. Now you might, but it's presented as some wild.
No, I'm telling you what I talk about.
Go ahead.
And what I know, you'll never read in any local paper.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
and there's the next Bilderberg meeting is coming up. That'll be on an island 57 miles north of Atlanta. And this island is a very secure place where they can fly in helicopters. And so I believe that's June 15th through 17th of this year.
Do you know the name of the island?
I have it at home, but I don't.
It's 50 miles off Atlanta?
It's 57 miles northeast of Atlanta.
And of course, at that point, they will plot out what they'd like to do over the next year or two.
That's right. They meet annually to discuss world problems and make world decisions.
We do have another caller. Quickly, caller, you're on the air. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
I got one question for you, our good friend here as your guest. Help me out here. What is going on with this new idea and that's not new. I understand the government's been working on this too. Before 2003, the government is planning on putting us underneath the UN control through a electrical blackout for 3 days.
You know anything about that?
I haven't heard of the blackout. The time frame that you really ought to be concerned about is the year 2005. They plan to take North, Central, and South America and the Caribbean islands and rename this zone to the American Union.
Well, that kind of sounds like the doctrine. What was it? The doctrine that was created a long time ago about nobody hands-off policy for Europe.
You talking about the Monroe Doctrine?
Yes, sir.
That's only has to do with North, Central, and South America.
But it still gives us complete control of this hemisphere.
Well, the elite will control this hemisphere, and they will call it then the American Union.
Absolutely. But
thanks. We actually got to get call. I appreciate your call.
Hey, thank you.
Okay,
thanks,
let's go to one more. We got one more quick one. Okay, you're on the air, caller. Let's go to one more quick one. You're on the air, quickly.
Yeah, have you ever been to Atlanta, Mr. Ross?
No, I haven't. Well, I passed through Atlanta.
57 miles northeast of Atlanta is still in Georgia, sir, or near Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's no island 57 miles northeast of Atlanta.
Yeah, there's a lake northeast of Atlanta.
Oh, I see. I thought you were implying it was in the ocean.
Oh, no, it's in Atlanta. I mean, it's in Georgia. But it's there's a lake up there, Lake Sinclair or something like that, and there's an island in that lake where they'll be meeting.
Well, Gaylon, appreciate it.
All right.
God bless you, Austin, Texas.